The final thing I want to talk about is, in our prep on the technical side of things, is headphones. The just basic, you can't be playing your track back and singing at the same time because you're going to get feedback, and also you would get the sound from the monitors going into the microphone, so that would do you no good. So either you're going to be in another room and tracking, and then the producer like me can be listening, or it happens all the time, especially in writing situations. The producer, you or as the engineer, may put on headphones, and the singer will put on headphones, and then you'll be able to do track playback in that way. You won't get any feedback, and also the track won't be bleeding into the microphone. People ask me all the time, okay, headphones, what kind should I get, whatever. Are not really endorsed by anyone, but the ones that I use, again, is the Beyerdynamics DT770s, and we'll add a photo of those. They're fabulous, and I will only use those probably until somebody can beat them, but they are really great. They are a closed back headphone, and so if we look at the different types of headphones, for those of you that don't even realize that there's actually other types of headphones out there, closed back means that the way they're built is to keep sound in completely, and open back headphones are actually more built for mixing, so that when you're wearing them, it allows the room, it essentially allows it to sound more like you're actually listening to monitors, because the sound's kind of coming in and out and it breathes a little bit more. They're typically normally really expensive, and there's some fabulous ones out there, but as far as tracking, the headphones that you would want to use is closed back headphones, and the ones that I use personally are the Beyerdynamics DT770s, and that's what I'd recommend. If you're going to use something else, it's fine, but closed back, and again, if you use less quality headphones, what can happen a lot of times is that the sound, you don't have a good clear cover on the ears, and the sound starts bleeding out and into the mic, and then you have similar issues as if you were just playing it through the monitors. The second kind of part B, or part 2 of this, is the headphone mix, and this is important. If the singer has a bad headphone mix, that can also ruin that vocal. And you're going, are you serious? Yes, seriously. And I'll tell you why. Number one is inspiration, right? And now we're going back to the psychology of side of things, that they want to feel like they're able to connect with that emotion. And if they're inspired, guess what? That's going to fire up that emotion. So getting the reverb right, getting those whatever ambience right is important. Also getting the levels right. So let's talk about that. So if the headphone level is too low, a lot of times I will hear singers over-sing, or they'll blast because they're going to try to match or raise, essentially do the gain raise themselves with their voice. No good, because a lot of times you'll clip, etc. If the headphone mix is too low, is too high, then a lot of times they will, oh my gosh, did I get that backwards? I'm tripping right now. Headphones mix too low, they'll sing quieter. Yeah, I had that backwards. I'm going to take it all the way from, okay. The second thing I wanted to talk about was your headphone mix. And headphone mix is important, and here's why. If you get that headphone mix wrong, a lot of times the singer loses that inspiration, or the singer will give you a bad vocal. And here are the pitfalls that can happen. Number one is that the headphone mix is too quiet. And if the headphone mix is too quiet, the singer will sing lower to try to fit in, and they won't sing like their normal resonance, and they'll be like, small and muted, and that's not what you want. Often if the mix is too loud, then they will sing louder to try to match the level of everything that's happening in their mix, and they'll just overcook it. And you'll have issues with the preamp, and you'll be clipping and things like that. Also, if you have too much reverb, a lot of times what I'll see with singers that I track is that they start getting pitchy, because they can't really hear, they're kind of getting lost in the swirls of the reverb or the delays, and they start losing their pitch because they're not actually really hearing themselves clearly because the dry signals kind of get lost in the saw, so to speak. And then on the flip side, if it's too dry, like it's not enough reverb, sometimes they're not inspired. And again, as we go back to that emotional thing, you want that singer to feel like, man, this is my moment and I'm really in the zone for whatever genre they're singing, that they feel inspired. So it's a balancing act between all four corners there of being too dry or too wet or too low or too high. And it's something that I constantly am in communication with my singers. So again, as we're still in the prep side, if you can, test it out with someone else, test it out yourself, make sure that you're getting signal to the headphones, you know, basic things like that. And again, making sure that they're ready to rock the second they walk through the door so that they can walk in there, whether it's some unknown or whether it's Christina Aguilera walking in, you know, and that you feel confident to say, yeah, put those headphones on, let's do this. One more thing that I want to add is there are times that I've had singers that don't know. They don't know if their levels are right. And they might just be kind of new to things, or they're not sure. You know, some professional singers you will, sometimes you won't. And you're going to have to read the situation. So if you hear them over singing or under singing, or they're getting pitchy, sometimes you have to make those adjustments yourself. Sometimes you can't rely on that singer to even know what's going on. Some people are just so overwhelmed with the fact that they're in a vocal booth and they're singing at a pro level that, you know, they don't know. And that's okay. There's no one at fault with that. So be cognizant of that. And I'd say, in addition, just constantly keep asking, checking in with them. Say, how is that level? If you're adding a new instrument or a new section of the song, the levels might have changed. So the more you can be in communication with that singer, the better.